Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to the AskGolfNut channel. Today we're doing a video compare between Cobra King Tour Iron release for 2023 and we've got it against the Mizuno Pro 223. And yes, the Pro 223 will soon be superseded by the next variant of the Mizuno Pro range, but that's not going to be for another 6 months or so. Both of these irons I have done full reviews of when it comes to on my channel. Again, it'll be up there when it comes to doing the individual ones. We'll do the King Cobra first. Both of these are 32 degrees. Put this one down and let's go when it comes to the Tour. So the Tour iron is the easiest of all of the players' side of Cobra's lineup. You've got the MB and the CB. They're slightly weaker lofted at 34 degrees, but they are designed to blend. This one is the most tech-inspired one. What I mean by tech-inspired one, it's the same material, but it's been milled out. Fatter, bigger body when it comes to how deep it is. And okay, so we're talking about trying to increase launch, trying to help when it comes to forgiveness and stuff like that. So yeah. When it comes to the MB and CB, obviously the MB being the blade and the CB being, well, not quite a blade, but basically is, they're actually really quite forgiving off heel strikes. Not so good off the toe, where the Tour one was the one that's always going to be the most forgiving off everywhere, out of the player's iron. So we have got at Willow Crest, hole 18, it's a par 3. It is down 22 feet, at 177 yards. And like an idiot, I've got this pin right next to the water, and like an idiot, I'm aimed straight for it. Anything right might be in the water. Anything weak and right will definitely be in the water. Right, okay, looks wise, when it comes to the Tour, we have got the largest of the soles when it comes to all three, but by no means is it big. We have got lovely, fairly thin top lines. Blade lengths are nice and small. Out of the two, without spoiling it, I do think I actually prefer the Tour when it comes to looks, just purely on the size of the golf club. It is quite a small little thing, but it doesn't in any way affect its performance of forgiveness whatsoever. Again, that's full review. We'll be doing forgiveness between these two when we go and hit all these and see how well they do and compare them up against each other when it comes to hitting it all over the face. Or for a second, that is slightly right of it, but it's, yeah. I'm asking for trouble on the screen. If I make any of these, oh, slightly toey, that's unlike me when it comes to one of these. Right, so what was that? Path was 0, face was 0, 7mm toe, 35 yards, 36 yards in the air, and 51 degrees ascent angle is doing a mighty fine job. The good thing with the Tour, because it's made of 1025 steel, carbon steel, it feels lovely. It really feels, this one feels fractionally thuddier than the MB and the CB, but bear in mind, obviously it's got a big undercut cavity in it, trying to redistribute weight lower and further back. But no, it's performing well. It's, considering it's a 7mm toe, generally speaking in my test so far, I haven't really been hitting these off the toe. They've been actually doing so well off the heel, I've been kind of moving a few mil that way. That's definitely off the toe though. We've got toe days today. It's doing fine. When I say toe, I mean, I can't really see on the quad there, so flicked over to the ball screen. That felt very toe, however, 3mm, that's it. And this is the great thing when it comes to these things. You're gonna get, when this is kind of a player's sector, and this is not full on blade by no stretch of imagination, guys. You don't need to be buttoning the middle absolutely every single time to get a decent amount of performance out of these. Obviously, it's advantageous you hit every golf club out of the middle, but these will help you when it comes to when you don't quite hit where you should. Okay, if you're going to deviate too far, there are other golf clubs in the range that's going to help that. But that's 35 yards, 35 yards in the air again, 50 degrees ascent angle. It's just good and it feels nice. It really does feel nice. That's not plumb on, that's slightly low. But as you can see, doing absolutely fine. But again, you're going to feel these. You're going to feel every single nuance difference. What's that, 7mm low? Yeah, I can definitely feel the 7mm low part. 32 yards or 33 yards in the air, 49 degrees of center angle. So a little bit of height you've lost in that one because of the low strike, but it's performing just exactly how I'd want one of these to do. So one more and we'll flick over to 223. Safe side, slightly toey as well. You take all of those shots, all 4 of them you take into this green, especially with the water on the right hand side. I've dodged it. The most toey of the lot, the 10mm toe, that definitely did feel toey, and it's gone 33 yards in the air, 49 degrees of center angle, even from a 10mm toe. So again, not ideal, but still absolutely fine. So you can move around the face on this and get away with it. Right, let's go over to 223, do the exact same thing again on the exact same hole, change the data sets so we get a different coloured line, and then we're going to go put these head to head when it comes to hitting these a load of times from all over the face to see which one wins when it comes to performance and also forgiveness. Right, back now with the Pro 223. Again, when it comes to full review of this one, I've got on my channel, pop up there and have a little look. But we are talking like for like when it comes to lofts. When it comes to shafts, there is a slight difference in shafts between these two guys, but anyone who's been following me for a while knows my opinion on shafts and how shafts affect me in particular. Doesn't mean I'm saying that shafts don't matter. Shafts make a huge difference to the vast majority of golfers. To a very small very small minority of golfers, shaft doesn't mean much, if anything. And lucky enough, when it comes to testing, I fit into that bracket. So I've got this in the Modus 115 stiff against the Dollar Taper 120 stiff when it comes to the Tour. But looks wise, this has got, if anything, it looks a fraction thicker on the top line, but only because it's got that kind of weird satin top to it. If it was chrome top, it would look smaller, but there you go. Sole thickness, because there's a little chamfer at the back of the 223 over the flatter version of the, I don't know, that's close. I would say, if anything, the 223 has a fraction thicker sole and blade length. I think that the 223 is marginally bigger in its blade length, but offsets are very, very similar. So yeah, down by the golf ball, it still doesn't look big. Compared to just hitting the Tour though, this, you can see a little tiny difference in its physical appearance. It'd be interesting to see how this feels though, because obviously this is the forged chromoly and it does transition into standard 1025E steel when it goes to A-tine, yeah, A-tine 9 pitching wedge and all that lot. But when the 7s and upwards into the 5s, etc., it is chromoly. Oh, do you know what? I'm pushing my luck again. That wasn't clean. That wasn't clean. Oh, look at that. I'm pushing my luck. Yeah, face was open, as you can see. Yeah, wow. Don't miss right, Jay. Don't miss right. Strike was toey. You could feel the toe. I mean, even though it's got forged chromoly, I can distinctly still feel that it's toe. Yes, the audible noise is a little bit more cracky. It's a fraction more of a higher pitched acoustic. Now, some people don't care about acoustics, and the people that don't care acoustics literally just ignore everything I'm going to say when it comes to the feel between these two. But for the people who do care, there is a difference in 223 over Tour. That's the safe way. That is not going near the water. It's a long putt. That's me saying nope, no right. Swinging slightly left, face slightly closed. That's not going right. Okay, but feeling wise, yeah, you can tell a difference. This has got a bit more of a punch to it. Where the Tour feels a bit softer, feels less, it's like the strike isn't quite so audible. Does it make a difference when it comes to performance? Well, again, we'll hit this a load of times and see what the difference is between peak performance, definitely averages, and also when it comes to the all-important forgiveness side. Oh, that's not bottom, that's on button, sorry, that's bottomy. When I say bottomy, that's thin. Yeah, it's got more than enough help to get there though. What's that one? How many mil low? 9? 8. You can feel it. You can definitely call it within reason to the millimetre when you strike it, and that's the benefit you're going to get over a player's iron. When it comes to a game improvement iron, sometimes you do lose a little bit of feedback, and this is what this is, feedback. I can kind of tell very quickly as soon as I make contact with it, where I hit it on the face. But it's performing well. It's going 34 yards in the air, 50 degrees descent angle, and that is low on the face. Similar to what I did on the tour, but that's performing very, very well. That should be okay. It is leaky, but it should be okay. I fingers crossed it. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad shot at all, really. But you can see what happens. The kind of the line between hero and zero is very, very fine. 3mm hill, zero, so it's a good strike, good delivery apart from the face was a fraction open, that's why I went to the right. 38 yards in the air, 51.6 degrees descent angle. It's performing every bit as good as you'd hope one of these to. So when it comes to just initially, I would say that the 223 feels a little bit firmer than the Cobra Tour. Performance-wise, there's nothing to see in just this small data set. So let's go hit both of these a load of times. Let's go see how they perform out. The middle shots, definitely. When it comes to its max, its average, and also capture some interesting strikes, compare the both of them, and see which one wins out of the two of them. After hitting a load of shots with the Pro 223 and the Cobra Tour iron, I've got some interesting findings now. I've done this obviously when it comes to averages, and within those averages I have mishits and normal kind of shots as well, but I've hit a load of shots with both of them, so any kind of mishits that are included in there are kind of nullified out. But some interesting information nonetheless, and depending on what kind of golfer you want, what your typical miss is and what you want from a golf club, two different ideas with these two irons. Right, so let's go have a look at the averages first. Let's go with the ball data first, the Pro 223. On average, ball speed 117 miles an hour, launching at 20.1 degrees, spinning nearly at 6,059, and going 35 yards in the air, 48.5 degrees descent angle, which is plenty high enough and plenty stoppy enough to stop on any green. Anything over 45 degrees will stop basically on any green, regardless of how hard it is, unless you're playing at a airport runway, and a carry of 165. If we put that directly up against the Cobra Tour, 117.3 as opposed to 117, so 0.3 of a mile an hour faster, 0.3. Not a lot. 19.8 degrees of launch rather than 20.1, so basically within reason, exactly the same. Spinning at 5.9, I mean, there's very little in that, 100 or so RPM. So within reason, identical. And going 35 yards in the air and 48.4 degrees descent angle. They are so close, going 165, 165. They are literally, well, I'm going to say exact, but they are within reason. They're the same lofted, and if you go by the club head data, we'll be able to see why they're exactly the same, but not. Club head speed on the Pro 223, 87.9 miles an hour, efficiency is 1.33, attack angle of 3.4 down, club path and face to path is very, very 0, 0, very close to 0. Loft is 27.6 degrees, that's dynamic loft, or remember when it comes to both these irons, there's 32 degrees of static loft, but then you always, well, not always, but most people should de-loft their irons when it comes to, yeah, so 4.4 degrees, yeah, 32 minus 27.6. And then you got your strike, 3mm hill, 4mm low as the average strike, but then I have got standard deviation there on everything, and that's a standard deviation is a great thing to have when it comes to comparing two golf clubs, because we are talking about comparing apples to apples, and to do it properly, what we need to do is make sure we are varying the same on both irons. If we go to the Cobra Tour, 87.8 rather than 87.9, so within a tenth of a mile an hour, exactly the same. Efficiency is 1.33. Again, remember, efficiency is a measure of bang for your buck. What kind of ball speed do you get out from any given club head speed? Attack angle 3.4 down, same as exactly the same as 223. And then path and face, again, very 0, 0. We've lost 27.5 rather than 27.6. Again, within reason, 1/10 of a degree. It is not much at all. Strike the 3mm hill, 2mm low rather than 3mm hill, 4mm low, but I also have got standard deviation on there so you can see the differences between everything. Right, so if you want to go to the compare screen, it's a graphical representation of what I've just been saying. Sometimes people see and find it easier to understand when they see it graphically rather than just a shed of numbers. But you can see how close they both are, and I've done my best I can do to deliver the same with both irons. Right, so let's go to the forgiveness side of things, because one of these two irons may work better for you. So let's go straight over to the 223 first. 86.5 miles an hour, efficiency is 1.31, path is 0.5, face is, so it's very 0-0 delivery. 14 mil heel, 3 mil low, so very heely, not a, generally speaking, a nice place to hit. Now, remember, average efficiency was 1.33. We've got to keep that in our heads. 1.33 was average efficiency. This has dropped to 1.31, which is extremely good from a 14mm heel strike. If we go straight over to the Tour, 86.5 miles an hour, 1.33 again. This is 12mm heel, so it's only, I say it's 2mm better strike, but it has got a face which is 1.7 degrees open, and it has got more loft as well. There's 1 degree more loft there. So even though the strike is better by 2mm, which is nothing, and we've got the same efficiency, it's done through more loft and a face which is open, which you will, generally speaking, then get more deflection. As soon as you get more deflection, you get a drop off of efficiency. And so therefore, I would say actually that the Tour, when it comes to heel strikes, is better than the 223. You'll get better retention from heel strikes from a Cobra Tour iron than you will do the Pro 223. If we go straight away now to the low strike on the 223, a 7.7 miles an hour, face and path again are very 0-0. We have got 11mm low on the face, which is quite low. You definitely know you're hitting low on the face when you catch it 11mm low, but efficiency is now 1.29. Again, that's a reduction. Of course it will do. You're always going to get a reduction when you hit vertically low on the face, especially. And if you then go straight over to the Tour iron, you've got 84 miles now, just a slightly slower swing, but makes no difference to efficiency. Again, face and path are very 0-0. This is 10mm low, so a fraction better than the previous one, but it's within reason. Very similar to the low strike on the 223, and efficiency of 1.29. But I mean, again, you could argue that because of the fact that I've had to do that with the Tour with a loft of 25 degrees as opposed to the loft of 28 degrees when it comes to the 223, me delivering less loft to get to the same efficiency number, as soon as you take the loft off, you're going to increase efficiency, reduce deflection. So actually, I would say if you're going to hit low as a miss, and you in between these two, then 223 will slightly outperform the Cobra Tour from low strikes. Let's go over to the toe. So we've got 89.4 miles an hour. We are again 0-0 on the delivery. This is for the 223, and it's 12mm toe, 1mm low. 1.31 efficiency is not bad whatsoever from half an inch off the middle. Remember, that's a 0.02 drop from average efficiency, which is not bad. If you then go over to the Tour, we have 90.2 miles an hour, so slightly faster clubhead speed, but 1.32 efficiency. Face and path again are very 0-0. And we have a 12mm toe, 3mm low. The difference, I suppose, on that one is a case of, it's such a small amount. I mean, I'm trying to, there is a very small amount of loft difference, but way less than a degree. You've got a slight difference of face and path, but it's such minor amounts. Within reason, very similar amounts of strike, and it is an averaging difference between the efficiencies of 1.31 and 1.32. They're very similar, and I reckon if you're going to do the toe test quite a few times, you'll find that they will keep flicking left and right. Who's going to win? One will win, then the other one will win. One will win, then the other one will win. So I would say this: heel strikes, the Tour will win. Out of heel strikes, the Tour will win, definitely. Out of low strikes, the 223 will win. And out of toe strikes, it is going to literally be a juggling fest between these two, who is going to win. So I'd say effectively a draw. Now, there is one thing that I want to say before we finish this. We've seen the forgiveness difference between of the efficiency of different parts of the face, but there is this one thing to say. I've captured some shots of what happens when you hit them out the middle, and we've got a distinct difference between them. Now, I have to be honest with this, as I will. if you look at the 223, if I hit this out of the middle, so basically face is 0, strike is within a millimetre or two middle, loft is at 27 degrees, and we are at 1.36. Remember, the 223 has got that micro slot, the same idea that is in the same design as the JPX 923 Forged, the JPX line, the line of which they're trying to promote ball speed. If you then move over to exactly the same strike within a millimetre of the Tour, loft is very, very similar, less than a degree difference. But I have an efficiency of 1.34 rather than 1.36. So there is this. You've got a double-edged sword when it comes to these two. The Pro 223, if you hit the middle, or you're very, very close to hitting the middle, the Pro 223 will outperform the Cobra Tour iron. It is a springier face, simple as that. As soon as you start moving around the face though, even though the efficiency is very, very similar to the Tour, you're doing it from a higher point to start with. So effectively there is a larger drop-off on a Pro 223, even though it matches within reason overall on the face, the same efficiency as a Tour. The Tour is just doing it on initially at a lower peak efficiency. So arguably the Tour is more consistent across the face, where if you're going to use the face, where the Pro 223, if you're not going to use all the face and you are going to hit the middle and surrounding areas, then potentially the Pro 223 will give a little bit more bang for your buck. When it comes to performance, we've just done that. When it comes to forgiveness, we've just done that. That'll be up to you and how you strike it, who's going to win. When it comes to the looks, again, I'm a blade player, so I like something that's going to look as plain as possible. Both of these two irons have got some busyness to them, so that is again subjective and depends on what you like. When it comes to feel, the feel's the interesting one, because remember, when it comes to 223, we have the chromoly, and the forged chromoly will give a slightly different tone, a different sound of hit. So that also bleeds out when it comes to the scoring irons into the 8 pitching wedge. So out of the two, I would say personally for me that the Tour wins on the 7 irons and then definitely will win on the 5s and the 6s. When it comes down to the scoring irons and the wedges, even 8-9 pitching wedge, I would say they're exactly the same. There's no real difference at all because they're made of very similar stuff. And of course you've got the copper underlay on the 223. So it all depends on what you want from that. When it comes to the cost as well for the price, because again this is in the UK, they're very, very similar. I think there's like £5 per club in it. Even if you go on different websites online, they kind of move up and down. But they're very similarly priced as well. So hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. YouTube's like it, so do I. Down there's a subscribe button. It's free, and if you could do it, it's great for the channel. It allows me to do more content like this. Next to it is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will notify you next time I upload another video. Make sure you comment down there below as well. Go on, get involved. I'll try and reply as many as I possibly can. I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.